Hello, everyone. I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and welcome to another garden chat on this rather overcast November afternoon. It's actually not too bad weather-wise. It's still been dry. We had a little bit of rain overnight last night, but other than that, we've had very no rain or moisture very much at all. So I think later this evening, considering we've got relatively nice weather, I think we're going to go out and have a bonfire out in the back here on the farm. But I just thought, now that the garden's put to bed, Halloween is past, you know, gardening, sort of the gardening journey starts all over again. And it starts with the dream and with the planning and the thoughts of what I want to do next year, how what I want to do differently, and of course, so I'm sitting down with my seeds and the notes that I made over the summer, and then just trying to figure out what my next move is. I know tomatoes are kind of my focus, especially for the spring plant sales. I am kind of trying to turn my hobby into a small home-based business, and of course combined with the market garden with Glenn, that it hopefully it might actually start to turn into something a bit bigger. But I know very early last spring we kind of sat down and Glenn entered all my varieties that I have into a spreadsheet which he's got on his computer. So I'm gonna have to do my own spreadsheet somewhere on my computer, I guess, so I have access to it. But at that point, probably was it February of this year, I had about 100, I think just under 100 different varieties. I have seeds for about 100 different varieties. Well, that's definitely gone up. I know I bought quite a few more seeds. I bought quite a few late spring that didn't get planted this year, so I was kind of planning ahead a little bit. I still had money to spend on seeds at that point, so I figured I better buy some things that I kind of like to grow next year while I had the chance. And I know I was already thinking, I know in the past few years for my plant sales, I've kind of focused on a lot of the darker tomatoes, like the black tomatoes, the blue tomatoes, purple tomatoes, the ones with the anthocyanin coloring in them. And they're okay, but they're not great sellers. Like some people are intrigued by them and will look for them and buy them, but um, and same with the yellow. I like yellow tomatoes. I think they're very bright and look fantastic in the garden. The yellow ones. So, but even last year, I noticed that the yellow ones didn't sell very well. So I think this year, or for next year, for 2022, I'm kind of changing my focus a bit when it comes to my plant sale. So I'm kind of focusing more on, well, red varieties, but canning, good canners, varieties that are good canners. So I already purchased some. I've got some Bonnie Best here from Baker Creek. I've also got a lot of these are from Baker Creek because they were the ones that had what I wanted when I wanted them, kind of thing. I know I did ox hearts. I had a request for ox hearts this spring, so I didn't grow very many, and I didn't have them for the sale because it was a specific request. So I might grow more of these out next year and have them for the sale because the ox hearts. I also noted, I tried to make note of what people were asking for that I didn't have, and I had a few people asking for the mortgage lifter. I had people asking for like the cherry grape tomato, so the small elongated tomatoes. I didn't. The only variety like that I grew was the Brad's Atomic Grape, which they weren't interested in. They just wanted a nice red grape tomato. So I'll be looking for seeds for something like that coming up. I've already been spending some time looking at some of the different websites, some of the different seed vendors. Some of them have their new catalogs up already online, and some of them don't. So yes, it's been fun already perusing the new varieties for the next growing season. But I did manage to kind of solve a bit of a mystery though that I had. I had purchased some seed. I'm not going to say from where because I don't believe in causing grief for anyone. But I was looking for the Goldberries, which is a Wild Boar Farms variety, and I was having trouble finding it. It's not even available on their site, so I'm not sure what's up with that. But I thought, well, I did a search, and I found a website that was selling them, but they were selling them under the name of Blue Goldberries. And the description kind of matched what Wild Boar Farms had on their website, and the photograph matched. It was a nice small yellow cherry tomato with the antho coloring on them. It looked very pretty. That was what I was looking for. So I ordered these blue goldberries, thinking it was the goldberries, but for whatever reason they had a slightly different name. Well, I grew them out, and the plants themselves were gorgeous. Very gorgeous tomatoes, like little tiny little cherry tomatoes, very pretty. Plant itself was very pretty, but they were red. They were not the gold berries that I was wanting. But I think I managed to solve the mystery, and what these are actually the blueberries, because there is a Wild Boar Farms variety called blueberries, and I actually even already had a package of blueberries from Baker Creek. And the only problem is it wasn't the variety I was looking for. Plus, when I tasted them, they're not a sweet cherry tomato. They definitely have that acidic zing to them. And it was actually not Wild Boar Farms. I have a little bit of a beef with these. Don't get me wrong, these guys are great, but they need to improve some of their descriptions on the back in terms of flavor, or what the flavors are, what something tastes like, because this doesn't say anything about what it tastes like. But they are a tart cherry tomato, not a sweet cherry tomato, but a tart one. And so that really threw me when I was trying to grow them. And I'm like, what the hell happened? You know, what did I do wrong? Did something go wrong? Did somebody give me the wrong variety? But it is somewhat frustrating when you spend your money on seeds. Like, yes, you only spend maybe $3 or $4, but still, right now, like me, and I'm sure a lot of other people are finding their finances are extremely tight, and so I don't have a lot of extra cash to be spending on seeds. So to have something that's been mislabeled, whether it was intended, I don't believe it was intentional. They probably labeled this the way they received the seeds as being labeled, I'm sure. But it's not blue goldberries. It's blueberries. And the goldberries are not blue goldberries, they're goldberries. So for every gardener out there, whether you're experienced or not, or new to seed saving, please, 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 make sure you've labeled correctly the variety that you've got, because nothing is more frustrating and disappointing to get something that you've been looking for a long time, grow it out, and then it ends up being something you weren't expecting. So my one personal beef is labeling. Label. Make sure your labels are correct at all times. So, but yeah, I'm going through. So I'm making my notes. So I'll be making that note in my records about these blue goldberries, that they're actually probably blueberries. So and don't get me wrong, like I said, the plant itself was absolutely gorgeous. Like the immature plant, when it's a little bit bigger than a seedling. Like when you grow them from seed and you transplant them at that first true leaf stage, and you get them into your individual pots, and then a few weeks later they start developing more nice leaves. They were gorgeous. They were absolutely the most pretty little seedlings I've ever seen. They're beautiful plants. And then, like I said, the fruit itself was beautiful. So if you like a tart flavored cherry tomato, I would definitely say, blueberries are probably right up your alley if you're looking for that. So, but yeah, so I'm going through things, and I order from a number of different seed vendors. I do order a lot from Baker Creek, but sometimes I find what they have doesn't appeal to me. I do order from Tomato Fest. I also order from some Canadian seed growers. Like this is from TNT Seeds. They're in Manitoba. So is Heritage Harvest. They're in Manitoba as well. I order a lot from these guys. I also order from, this is Tomato Fest. They have a lot of varieties that I like. I also, there's some other smaller seed vendors here. Like this Guernsey Island was from Casey's Heirloom Seeds. They're in Alberta. And then I've also got some that I've ordered from Tatiana's Tomato Base, which unfortunately she's not selling anymore. It's too bad that she doesn't have her catalog up to date, or she's not doesn't sell seeds anymore, because she had some awesome varieties, Tatiana's. But anyway, I'm just going through some of my stuff, trying to decide what I want to grow. So I'm definitely going to grow some more canners. Like I've got the Bonnie Best, and I've got some Rutgers, and I did find the Mortgage Lifter because I did have somebody request the Mortgage Lifter. And I'm also going to be growing more of the beefsteak. Now I know beefsteaks are very common and they are found in virtually every garden center that's out there, but I'll probably grow them anyway. Like I do try, when I do my seed, my plant sales, I do try to focus on well, heirlooms, but sort of the more hard to find ones, like the ones that like I said, virtually every garden center will have beefsteak. So I tend not to grow it, but I try to grow things more like the Mortgage Lifter, which you don't find, or the Beaver Lodge Slicer, which sometimes you don't find, or, you know, something like the Mushroom Basket, which you probably won't find in a garden center, at least not anywhere near where I am anyway. So I do try to focus on some of the more different open pollinated and heirloom varieties, just to try and be a source for that, or a resource for that. Because, you know, if you're into that and you don't know where to go, or if you want to have the heirloom tomatoes or some of the more interesting varieties, but you don't have the space to start your own seed, you know, for some people it's just simpler and easier to go buy, you know, a started plant, right? So I'm trying to build up a little bit of a business and a little bit of a market for that, with what I do. So, but yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing this afternoon. Like I said, it's kind of overcast, but it's actually not, temperature wise, it's not that cold out. So probably later we'll be having a fire. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share with you what I'm up to today. You know, the garden's always on my mind. There's always trying to think of what I want to do, and new ideas and different varieties and that sort of thing. I was thinking today, early this morning, I was busy making coleslaw. I was taking the cabbage that we had from the garden and shredding it up so that we have our own homemade coleslaw. And I was thinking, you know, this could be a value-added product that we could probably sell at the market if we plan it right and have this stuff ready. We could probably sell it for the Thanksgiving weekend. You know, I'm sure that's when people are wanting to buy stuff like that and buy it fresh. You know, freshly grated and ready to go for their Thanksgiving supper kind of thing. So things like that. You know, I try to make note of those kinds of ideas of things that we could do for the market garden aspect of it. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful weekend coming up. Yeah, glad you came to sit down and have a cup of tea with me. Probably be doing it again. There's lots of seeds to go through, lots of ideas. Like these are just the tomatoes. There's lots of other stuff that we have to go through, like the peppers. You know, peppers are kind of, they definitely take longer here because we have a cooler weather and shorter growing season. But in the end, we actually did have a not half bad, decent crop of peppers. So we'll be going through the peppers and figuring out what we want to grow. We still have to grind up the ones that we dried into our pepper blend. So that still has to be done. But anyway, hope you're having a great day and a great weekend. And if you're still gardening, awesome, good for you. And if your garden's put to bed, well then, I hope you're having a wonderful, fun time dreaming of next year's garden. So until next time, take care.